Joining us now, not in a Halloween costume, unless he's dressed like Doug Gottlieb. Doug Gottlieb, the head coach of UWGB men's basketball. Come on, God. It's DG. It's Halloween, bud.
I'm a grown-up, and my kids are – I have two in college, and I got a son in high school that doesn't live with me. So, I mean, forgive me, Trevor. I mean, I just –
It's our excuse.
Wasn't up my – it's a great idea, but I like, well, okay, so I'm dressed as a basketball coach. I don't know.
Perfect.
There you go.
And you're what? Maybe which one is the?
I got the quarter zip working. That's like
there you go.
It's replaced all these suits. There's all these tailors of fine haberdashery. They're going penniless here in college basketball world because no one outside of Rick Pitino wears a suit anymore.
Doug Gottlieb, head coach of the University of Wisconsin Green Bay men's basketball team, the Horizon League, and a big rival of UW Milwaukee. Doug, we're statewide on the all-new Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, and you are on our guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. All right, man. So the last preseason game, if that's what they call it, in college basketball was last night. Hope you're ready. Kansas is next. So tell us what we need to know about your team this year.
We have 10 new players, and Matt, I mean, where do you want to start?
Well,
what do you want to start? Hey, hold on here. First of all, I missed you last night.
I know, man. I'm sorry.
I missed you last night.
I missed being there. Let me just bring everybody up to speed on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. I was the public address announcer for 7 seasons for the University of Wisconsin Green Bay men's basketball team. And at the end of the day, GB decided to go in a different direction based on some service agreement stuff. And that's okay. It is what it is. We couldn't quite come to an understanding on a new document that I had to sign outside of the handshake deal I had in the past. No hard feelings. I will be there as a member of the media.
Ooh.
But that just means I get.
Why did you do media? Why the fingers with the media?
I don't like being a part of the media because
why? Hold on. Whoa, stop.
Oh,
why?
Here we go.
Don't be that guy. Be like, the media. Well, I'm not in the media. You're in the media. You host a radio show that's on YouTube, and on YouTube.
Yeah, but we dress up for Halloween. We don't,
Lots of people in the media. Lots of people in the media dress up for Halloween. I dressed up for Halloween, and I'm in.
Quarter zip, nailed it. Yeah. For me, Doug, and for Josh too, if I can speak for both of us, it's about fandom for us. This morning show on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network,
okay,
view this as fans, and so the media has to be impartial. Right?
No,
we are not.
No,
I thought they did. Wasn't that a rule?
No, you only have to be impartial if you purport yourself as impartial. You don't have to be anything other than you like. Don't. And this is like we do this on my podcast, the Doug Gottlieb Show, which you can download wherever you download podcasts. Anyway,
ding.
Which is we run Stephen A over the coals because Stephen A likes to report himself as a journalist. Okay, but then he doesn't follow the basic journalistic procedures of it. Like, if you're going to be an opinionist or you're going to be a fan and you're going to be in the media, that's fine. Just say, I'm a fan, I'm in the media. Hey, look, man. Okay, but then that kind of recuses you from certain ways of reporting. That's fine. I mean, okay, but I don't think that means you can't be in the media. It's way better than these phonies that want to act like they're neutral and yet. And it's even in sports, they'll lean towards their conference, they'll lean towards their school. Everything becomes that slant. So I don't think that means you can't be a member of the media just because you guys are fans of all Wisconsin sports.
That's good. All right, we'll take that. And I'm a fan of yours. I'm a fan of GB's. This is no secret. So how are we rebounding from last year, Doug? 4-28. And for those that don't know, I would say, and so would others, that this truly is your first full year as head coach at GB, because you didn't get the full offseason that, let's be honest, you have to be successful in college athletics.
Well, there was that. And there's more to the timing of getting a job than just getting it late. And I'll get to that in a second. But again, you go with the fact that the job had turned over the year before. So you have all this transition. We had 5 players in the roster when I got the gig. We were on academic probation from several years ago. And we're in this new era where people had money, and last year we didn't. And then our leading scorer broke his ankle. He's leading the country in scoring, and 10 games in he breaks his ankle. Outside of that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the show? But it was, honestly, it was a great learning experience for me. And then when I say learning experience, not just in coaching and recruiting and evaluating, putting together staff, but also to help me understand and appreciate Green Bay and the Fox River Valley. In that, like, we weren't very good, but they all appreciated and showed up for the fact that the kids played really hard. So how are we different? Well, again, remember last year, as you said, you didn't have full off season, but it's more to it than that, right? Like when you're building a whole new team, and that's what most of us are doing. Now we did bring 6 back, 5 scholarship players, and they're all expected to play a good deal this year. But when you're building a whole new team, you have to have a theme, if you will, an identity. And when you're late, and the only thing left is guys with a bunch of marks on their personal record, or they're really, really young and inexperienced. For the most part, we sided with the young because we just didn't feel like we could take too many chances. And the chances we did take, one of them, Anthony Roy, hit. A couple of the other ones missed. And then when you're on APR probation, you can't have guys leave. You can't get rid of them. You have to kind of cajole them into a softer transition. Otherwise, it hurts you for years to come. But those aren't problems that anybody else cares about. What they care about is, like you said, all right, so what'd you do to fix it? We revamped the staff. I've been around basketball my whole life. I've coached basketball my entire life, but I've coached Division I basketball for 1 year. And so I hired 2 veteran experienced coaches. One who, Kerry Rupp, was a coach in this league a couple years ago. He's been a head coach at Louisiana Tech. He was a Rick Majerus assistant after being a stellar high school coach. So he's done it all as Kerry Rupp. He's running my offense, and then Andy Ground is running my defense. He was my high school coach, became a big-time junior college coach in California. I just basically bought 90 years of college coaching experience.
Yeah.
And then I hired Keel Gans, who was a manager here and then went to St. Norbert, went to Southern Indiana, was an assistant at Northern Michigan. And so I kind of bought his book, if you will, in terms of recruiting, because the state of Wisconsin is super important. So it's more strategic in our planning with our staff, where I have experience helping with the actual coaching and teaching. Jerry Smith is full-time on staff now. For people in Milwaukee who may remember, he was at Wauwatosa East, all-time leading scorer. Played Louisville for 4 years, played professionally. Last year he was like part-time with us. Now he's full-time. So we feel like we're gonna go hard after Milwaukee, hard after the rest of the state. And when we say we recruit Wisconsin and you see them go somewhere else, that's not always a bad thing for us. Sometimes the guy goes above us, a higher level, and then they realize that it's better to come home where you can play bigger minutes and be a star, maybe in your hometown. And then some guys go below our level, or to other Division I schools, or they go to D2 or D3. That's okay. WEAC's great level of basketball. D2, as we learned the hard way, really good level of basketball. And then if you want to transfer back up when you develop, because it's hard to play younger players. And then what we've done with the roster, Trevor, is we went from youngest roster in the country to probably the oldest.
Dude's 29. 29.
Yeah. Well, it was very behind the fact that Ramel Bethea, we'll get to his story, is 29. Josh Hines, who played really well last night, he's 24. Let's see, Rob Stroud is 23. Preston Rudinger is 23. Yeah, we just like when you sit there and you watch your team just get pummeled by older guys, like you can either sit there and go like, yeah, this sucks. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that for 33 more nights, right? So I decided, okay, so we recruited based upon toughness, competitiveness, character. And yeah, if you're older, fine. Great. So we got older, tougher, and I think better coached all in a short period of time.
Doug, Josh Ulrich, nice to meet you, by the way.
Hey, Josh.
So my question for you based on that is, so we're seeing in University of Wisconsin Badger football, kind of they have money more than UWGB, you would assume, but they're having problems recruiting at that level. And they're going through, well, what should we do with Luke Fickle? If we get rid of Fickle, it's going to cost money to buy him out. And then wouldn't that be money that we could have put towards recruiting players? It's such a different just world that we live in now with college sports at your level and with the program that you're trying to do, seeing what's happening, not just in basketball, in all of college athletics. How do you approach recruiting in regards to NIL deals and all of this against the big boys?
Well, we're not going to be anybody's highest bidder. We're just not. And the decision, Josh, you got to make is, okay, are we going to go after one or two players and, get well into six figures for them? Or are we going to try and build an entire roster? And we chose to build an entire roster. Let me quickly give you my thoughts on Wisconsin football, because we never talk about it on my show, and everybody talks about it around here. And I got to tell you, I think the more I hear people around here talk about it, the less I realize people actually know or they understand. I don't know Luke Fickell. I'm not in the bag for Luke Fickell. I can tell you that he's in that terrible spot in between something really good and really bad. First thing that happened to him is his quarterback got hurt again, right? Like every year they whip out some quarterback that's supposed to save the world, and he gets hurt. Same thing happened, by the way, at my alma mater. What's not reported at Oklahoma State is, they hired an offense coordinator and a quarterback from TCU, and then 3 series in, the kid gets hurt. And you're like, wow, they suck at quarterback. Like, yeah, the guy that they paid a bunch, like this is what happened to me last year. Like, yeah, we couldn't score. Yeah, I had 30 points a game. The best player in the league, one of the best players in the country, sitting there, and he couldn't play because he broke his ankle. Like, duh. And oh yeah, by the way, that was 1/3 of my money. So, that's what happens, you idiots. So the first thing is you have to make a decision. Okay. I do think there's the bigger decision with Wisconsin. And my guess is if they hang on to him, it's because, hey, let's just save money for a year and then try and go through it one more year. And then the buyout goes down next year and load up, and the next guy gets all the riches, right? And that sucks for Coach Fickell. Maybe he can make it work. I don't know what his budget is in comparison to the rest of the league. I mean, look, Cignetti's a hell of a coach, but they spent more money than anybody outside Ohio State, and they got really good overnight. What do you think happened? This is not rocket science. Right? Yeah. Now but the other part to it, okay, is there's two things. Obviously, Wisconsin has departed from the ground and pound style that made them unique. I do think you have to be unique in your recruiting, in that you have to differentiate. What differentiates Wisconsin from any other team in the Big Ten? That's the question, right? Because it still is, you still do recruit. Now, when I say that, it's because what is your style, and then can you recruit to that style, and can your staff find the guys, shake the bushes, the FBS guys as well. I mean, they should be heavy into North Dakota State, all those schools. You got to recruit the hell out of, and you got to hit on the quarterback, but you got to have an identity of who you are. You can't just go into the portal going, "Ooh, that looks good. Ooh, that looks good. Ooh, that looks good." Imagine, here's what the portal is. Imagine if you got $150 and you walk through a grocery store and with no idea of what you're going to make that night, right? You'll come home, you have like a beautiful steak. You'll have this oranges that are perfect. You got these apples that are perfect. You got this great wine, right?
And
none of it goes together. You're like, well, that's why you don't shop when you're hungry. You're like, damn, what did I get? And you kind of make it work out, but it's not a meal, right? The schools that had the plan, they built it up over time. They have, again, I'll give credit to Bart at Milwaukee. Bart has a style. They play fast, they play hard, and then they just throw it off the rim and go get it. It's not the prettiest, but it's been really effective. And he's done it with recruiting guys, tougher branded dudes, a lot of JUCO dudes from the South. That's where he's connected. And they do a good job, right? Because he's been doing it long enough. This is how he wants to play. This is how he wants to recruit. Some years they're better than others. And when you depart from that, or when you bring in a new staff, or you're now in the portal and you get a little bit of money and you're like, oh, I could buy that. Oh, I could buy that. Yeah, but that doesn't fit here. So for Wisconsin, if it's Luke Fickell or it's the next coach, you have to establish that identity. You have to recruit to that identity. You have to develop to that identity. And then, oh yeah, by the way, you got to decide where am I spending my money, right? Where am I spending my money? And just, if you say, well, our offensive linemen aren't as good as they used to be. Yeah, because they're really expensive. Because college coaches aren't idiots. They pay money for the positions that are most important. So do I pay $2-3 million for an elite quarterback, but then do I not have enough money to have an elite offensive line? These are real problems. Yeah. So there's no real salary cap for everybody, but you have a salary cap. I have one. And if I have to rob Peter to pay Paul, right? In order to make my budget work, I had to cut the analytics company we work with, and they're like, "Hey, well, Robert Morris went all in with us. That's great. Robert Morris has 3 times the money that I have. I don't have that, so I got to use that to pay players, let alone pay my staff." So I think you have to decide, all right, what's our identity? What are we going to recruit to? And how do we want to spend our money and protect ourselves against a quarterback injury? Or do we roll the dice and go, hey, the kid's so good, we'll spend all our money in one place?
DG, we got time for one more. You are a radio guy. You know we're up against a break in 3 minutes. So tell Wisconsin why we should pay attention to the Horizon League, GB in Milwaukee. We got the Badgers. We understand. We got Marquette. We understand. Why the Horizon League here in Wisconsin?
Well, I think the easiest answer is look where all the Horizon League players are playing this year, right? 23 of the top 25 returning scorers have elevated to a different league. I mean, so yeah, we're kind of the G League for the Power Four. It's really good basketball. This is a very, very good level. It's very physical, and then we have a bunch of unique different styles. But I don't care about the rest of the league. You should watch us in Milwaukee. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Bart's doing a hell of a job, and we're in the chase. And I think for us, we have a bunch of unique stories. You mentioned Ramel Bethea, 29 years old, never played basketball until 3.5 years ago. But he's 6'9" with a 7'4" wingspan. I mean, and the guy, if I don't know what's up with the flies here. I live on the lake, but he's the ultimate fly swatter. It's unbelievable, his timing. Marcus Hall's a homegrown kid from Schofield, and he's preseason all league. Kid's a stud in every sort of way. So for us, we just want you to watch what we're building. We're going to build a long-term winner, sustainable winner here in Green Bay, and we feel like we got the best setup in the league because matter. And in so many of the other teams in the league, it doesn't matter. It matters to Green Bay. And that's the challenge to Milwaukee. Milwaukee's got to matter to the city more so than just Marquette and just the Bucks. And I think Bart's built a very good program that deserves the fan base. We're going to build one here. We're going to be a monster. It's just going to take some time, and we'll get it right.
And it's an awesome rivalry. I've been a part of it for a while, and I'll continue to be, apparently, as a member of the media. Is that better? The yay media.
There you go. Don't have to do yay media, but like this is what we do. Like it's not just you, Trevor. It's everybody does this. Like, yeah, well, the media. Like, hey, dude, if you have a microphone in front of your face and it's getting broadcast nationally, technically you're media, bro.
Bad news. You're the media. Yeah, it is what it is. Doug Gottlieb, the head coach of GB men's basketball. Love you, buddy. Thanks for coming on. Good to see you. Hey, happy New Year.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Happy New Year. A fresh start, baby. Here we go. Doug Gottlieb, GB men's basketball. We appreciate you jumping on. The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all.